Welcome to my video review of the 2021 Walmart exclusive Beast Wars Optimus Primal reissue, as well as a comparison with the 1995 original. This figure, or this mold, is one of my favorite molds of all time. It's such a fun mold to play with and handle. Until I got the reissue. Right off the bat, I'm going to say that I got this one because I thought it would be a replacement for my original. I thought it would like the paint apps better. But the case is that this one has worse plastic quality, and there are some changes about it that I did not like, aside from the cosmetic changes. But we'll get into that later. So here, looking at him, he's a nice gorilla mode. You can see from the back legs especially that he's got white robot bits hanging out. But compared to a lot of the Beast Wars from the time, as well as modern Beast modes, this is not that bad. Here in the front, you can see he's got like the white on his arms, but it's like furry textured, and we got some little robot bits hanging out there, but that's fine. The sort of transition from this gray, and you got gray here, and white, gray, and black. To me, it just transitions well. It's almost like a gradient for his arms. It's like it's meant to be that way, sort of. And so it doesn't break the illusion for me here. Here though, that's where it kind of does, but it's not too bad. That's the back. So one of the biggest changes for him, at least in robot mode, between this one and the original, is that this whole front faceplate is painted differently. Most noticeably, the dark blue eyes, which I really like. That to me looks so much nicer than the flat blue eyes that we have here. Oops. These flat blue eyes on the original. But one thing about it that I don't like is that they have this weird black paint that's like soft feeling around that whole faceplate, and it breaks up that transition here with like the glossy plastic. Here's all glossy, and then it's like a flat paint, which I don't know why it's like that. Aside from we'll get into it more later, but the plastic that this is attached to is noticeably of a crappier quality than the originals. So that might be an explanation for it, but as you can see here, it's glossy throughout. Though I do like the darker, shiny blue eyes. Not that this one is bad. This is a classic. Posability in robot mode, or sorry, in gorilla mode. He's got, it's a swivel, but it sounds like a ratchet because it's on a ratcheting gear system, and it ratchets when the gears adjust. He's got an elbow swivel, which doesn't feel too great to handle. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be able to be turned, even if it doesn't feel that nice. As turned as in like turned against the gears, and then like having them reset and stuff. It feels pretty awful, like you're gonna break something. Which is not the case for my original. This one, like, I apologize for the ratcheting noises, but it feels like they reset very easily, and I don't know if it's just because this is like broken in so that it just does that more smoothly than this one, or if it's like the plastic quality, and I'm suspecting it's the plastic quality on this one. Because even if this one was broken in, the gear system seems a lot more robust and it functions better. So I don't think this one is worn in. I think it's just like superior in terms of the quality. So yeah, it feels like it doesn't even want to turn sometimes. But yeah, there's that. The legs don't really move. I don't think they're meant to move because you can only like move them out. You can move them out like this too, but that's mostly for transformation because his actual gorilla knees are like here, I guess anatomically, and then the rest of it's not really meant to move in the backside. So one cool feature he has, one of the features he has that makes him really fun to play with, is that he's got a chest beating action. So what you want to do, so you can see here that the lever is kind of out. You sort of get that flush first. So you want to pull it out and then push it down and then crank one of the arms. There we go. And then now it's sitting as flush as you can make it. But this piece is actually retooled. And I don't know if this was from this current reissue or from like a Takara mold or the Universe mold or recolor of this or the 10th anniversary recolor and retool. But this is different from the originals, which look like this. Get it flush. There we go. And it's just mostly smooth here. Like a mostly smooth fur that blends in until we get to this notch right there. This one has like a little, what I'm assuming is like a thumb pad for you to press down on or something. And it just breaks the aesthetic. And I don't know why it's there. Aside from to help you push your thumb on it, which is useless. No reason to do that, but it's there. So what you want to do is lift up the lever, and then if it's like all the way in there and you can't lift it up, you would just sort of crank on one of the arms until it pops up, and then you could push it down, and then when it's up in that position, at least for mine, you'd want to have, let me see, oops, you want to have his left arm up at his chest and then the right arm out, like so. And then, yeah, you can get him to do his monkey beating, his gorilla chest beating action. And it works pretty well. Sometimes you gotta like fiddle with it and understand how the position of his arms relates to the gear mechanism, because it doesn't just like work with whatever arm position you have it in. You have to have it, at least for mine, you want to have it in this pose while it's all the way up for it to work correctly. And then put it back in. You just want to do that sort of cranking. Let me see. If this is all the way up, then this way is down, and then I'm actually having trouble getting it flush. Let me see. There we go. So what you want to do is have it all the way up, and then you pull it, you extend it back out, and then you turn it in, and then you can have it flush after cranking the arm. There we go. So now we're gonna go to Gorilla, or transform him from Gorilla mode to Robot mode. And this one more comment about the gear mechanism. It works a lot better for me on the original. So there's that. So even despite having what feels like, this one feels like it has a less strongly engaged gears than the reissue, because this one feels like they're really like on each other. Like those gear teeth are really like they don't want to adjust. It feels like the gears slip on this one way more often than it does on this one. So there's that. Transformation, very easy. You want to bring the legs down like so. Flip these gorilla toes down to reveal these like weird heel toes, and then you flip around the legs like so. Feet down, and then come up here and you pull down his head, his gorilla head, and this section is another part that was changed. It's like this weird soft plastic at these support arms for the head swings down and where the ears are connected, and it just makes it very stiff feeling to pull it down from where it is. And I hate that. And it makes it harder to push it down inside, or inside into the chest. And I'm assuming that they just made it soft to prevent breakage, because I think I've seen some eBay listings where like this part was broken off, but I've never had trouble with it on my original, and it seems to just make the whole swinging down and locking into place action very unpleasant. It just feels stuck a lot because it's soft and not smooth. But while you're swinging that down, you flip the head around like so. There you go. And sometimes this will pop off when you're pulling it up or down, just because of that weird plastic. But that's just how you gotta deal with it. Here, see these look like little pegs, and they act as guides for the shoulder pads because they're separate pieces from the arms. So you want to unlatch them, and then you can bring the shoulder pads up. And here we have him fully transformed in robot mode with his mutant mask on. So take a look at that before I swing it back to robot mode. Here we go. Here's the original. So he's got like that red half of his head. And then this one is the dark metallic blue, which I do like better. As well as the mutant mask itself is like a more blue looking blue than here. It's like an off blue on this. That might be because of age, but it's definitely glossier and bluer on the reissue. Now to transform it, so you have to bring down the mask on this hinge here, and all the gray here all the gray plastic on the entire figure actually, but very noticeably when you mess around with this area, it feels cheaper than the original. Like the mold just feels not as cleanly cut from the machine, and this wants to like come off the hinge very easily. So not very happy when I found that out. So you want to bring where the tusks were up and they form the antenna of the robot head. And you swing it around like so. And there we have his normal robot mode. Get Kingdom out of the way. And I think it looks really nice. Though, I'll show you the original real quick. So the original's head was just a solid blue with that red half in the back. And I really like how this one is just the dark blue, dark metallic blue all the way around. And he also has a white mouth plate, which looks really nice. But once you have him equipped with all of his gear, his accessories and stuff, I feel that this one looks better, or the original looks better than this one, because his head just pops out more, and this one just kind of blends in with the black a bit too much due to how dark it is. Another thing to notice is that he has a painted inside for his chest, and then this one is like a clear, or not a clear, but an unpainted inside. And it's also like, look at this, look at that plastic, it's just so crappy. You see that? And then you look here and it's all clean and nice and pristine, while this one just looks like some knockoff. Look at that, it's like all messed up. So yeah, don't know what's up with that. Thanks, Hasbro. Anyways, he's got a ton of features. Oh, by the way, he's got same dark metallic blue here on the little buttons on his waist. This one has the solid. And that's pretty much all of their differences in terms of paint. But in terms of features now, as we've been seeing unintentionally, he's got this button here where you press and it swings out his cannons. Let me get that done without my finger in the way. Let me see if I can get them to swing out at the same time. Yeah, so they don't like to swing out at the same exact time. But it might just be, yeah. It depends, I suppose. Sometimes the left one will swing out first, sometimes the right one will swing out first, and that's the same with my original. So he's got that feature, as well as posability. Sorry, I forgot that. So he's got the same arm posability as he did in Gorilla mode, except got a little more range due to having this piece not have to be latched in here. And then he's got a waist swivel, and then he's got these super loose thighs here, these ball joints, which is not the case on my original. And it feels like that's a plastic quality thing. Yeah, so here there's this like glossy, it's like a glossy smooth plastic, and then here it's like this, it's like a textured plastic that's like doesn't want to, you see that? Can barely hold his own weight. Jeez, Hasbro. Anyways, so he's also got his foot going up and down, and that's about it for posability, not including the head. So his head is like on a platform, a ball jointed platform that's on a swivel. So he's got a swivel and a ball jointed head. Though it is kind of, it's a bit restricted. It doesn't want to like stay, but whatever. In terms of features, he's got the missiles that I've showed you, as well as the arm cannon, which you activate by pulling down here. And that's really cool. His whole arm just like flips open to reveal the cannon, and he just replaces his hands and stuff, and that's a really cool aesthetic to me. So not accurate to how they have it in the show, but then again, the figures came first, so show's the one that's not accurate. And then in this arm, there we go. Flip it out to reveal his mace, or his flail. Pull that out. Looks like this. So it's basically what Paleo Trek's head was based off of. And this piece is actually a different piece than this one, which is, they're basically the same exact thing, except look at that, it's all done so crappily. Yeah, they're different. They're definitely different. And like, aside from just being on the crappier plastic, you can see all that. It's like made in a way so that the string can fall through the tip. Whereas this one is not like that. The original. It is knotted in there, and it just feels cleaner. It's on a shorter string as well, which I don't mind either string size. This one definitely stores better than this one. And then to store it, you would have to like roll it up like so, and then stuff it inside. But we're gonna have it out so we can check out the features. So here, holding on to his flail, and when you swing out these cannons from the sides here, this one fell out. You can store his swords. And then you can have one in each hand, or you can have the double sword. Double swords. And then you can use his little arm gimmick actions. So let me get this out. There we go. So this is in the shoulder, the upper arm swing action mode from when he was beating his chest. And then here on each of his arms, he's got this little lever, which in the down position, he'll do the gorilla chest beating action. And then in the up position, he'll do a spin at the elbow. So this one's in spin mode, this one is in swing mode. So looks like this. Or you can have both of them doing the spin. It's a little wild with the flail though. But yeah, he's a lot of fun. And that is pretty much all for the features. What I didn't show you though is he actually fires 2 of his missiles. From here, he's got 2 missiles stored behind his head. Let's see. Can't tell from the light, but there's little slots in there for you to store his missiles. And they're the same exact missiles they have in the front here. And there's a particular way to put them in. It is where the notches, come on focus, the little notches are towards these gray parts. And those aren't the triggers. The triggers are on the other side, right here. And you can fire his shoulder ones for those buttons right there. And there he is. This is an excellent... I want to say it's an excellent figure. Mostly because I absolutely love and adore the original. But mostly the legs right now. The legs bother me, and the dark of his head. And I'll show you how he looks compared to the original all decked out, because when you have the original decked out with all of his gear, it just looks a lot better to me and more cohesive with the colors and the fact that the blue of his head doesn't get lost in all the black and all the contrast from his weapons. So let's get everything equipped. Yeah, and there we have both of them. I do like how the blues match for the weapons on the original, and I like how he has that additional red in the chest. But I'm actually starting to grow on how dark the helmet is on the new Primal. But I'd say overall, this is still the superior one, the original. I have no interest in the 10th anniversary version because it looks... I hate the head. I love the mouth plate. The look of the mouth plate on the original, and the whole head, even without the mouth on the 10th anniversary edition, just looks so derpy to me. In terms of size comparisons, here we have Nemesis Primal from Kingdom. I don't have the Optimus Primal from Kingdom yet, so yeah, a little tiny compared to the original, or to the original mold. Here he is next, Earthrise Prime, and here is his wave mates, Cheetor and Rat Trap. And then I'll also have Megatron to compare him to in the next review. Well, here he is in T-Rex mode at least. But I'll show you both of them in... show more comparisons with Megatron in Megatron's review. So look forward to that. So which of these two figures do I prefer and recommend the most? Well, the reissue one is about $50 retail, and the original is about $50 secondhand, at the moment at least. So price wise, they're about the same. Now in terms of quality, and you've heard me say it a lot, but this one by far better quality than this one. Here's like my biggest gripe on this one is just how crappy that chest plate looks. It looks all dented up and messed up despite being brand new. This one is one I got secondhand, over 20 years old, and that chest plate has like no blemishes. And it's also painted red inside, and that looks really nice. This one does have an aesthetic that's growing on me though, with the light blue. And I like the shininess of the metallic blue head, but this dark blue, it's just too dark and it blends in so much with the black fur. And compare that to this solid blue on the original. To me it looks nicer with that contrast, though this one I suppose does look more consistent with modern iterations of Optimus Primal, and it does have like that painted white mouth plate. You can see from here, it's like the differences in the length of their flails. It's like a whole head longer on this one, but this is a higher quality flail on this one. So if you could find a decent quality and mostly complete original, I would get this one. This one is nice too, and I would get it if I could not find one of these. But honestly, if you did get this one, I don't think you would have much of an issue with it. Like, most of my issues with this one are because I have the original to compare to, and I can tell like all of the issues this one has just like accentuated by me having this one to directly compare it. This one, if you didn't have anything else to compare to, it would be perfectly fine. It would just be the way this figure was, and you wouldn't know any better unless you watch my video. So yeah, this one is still definitely nice. I like it. I want to keep both because I like both of them. Neither of them are perfect. And I kind of want to get the Takara real gray version now, just to compare the three of the most similar versions of Optimus Primal, or at least this mold of Optimus Primal. And yeah, have a nice day, and thank you for stopping by.